So the same question has been popping up for the past few weeks. How do you keep your electronic devices charged? Well, as a digital nomad for the past 5 years, I've had to really concentrate and have had a lot of trial and error going back and forth with the devices that worked. To start off with, I had a phone issue. Couldn't keep my phone charged the whole 8 hours I was in business every day, so I got one of these, and that pushed me over the edge when I didn't have enough juice. But this is a LiPo battery pack, lithium phosphate, and it works pretty good. Most of the time, and it's real thin too, but you can see it's bulging a little bit, which is the problem with lithium phosphate batteries. They expand when they overcharge, and I guess at some point maybe they even have some issues with staying intact, or I don't know. I don't know the full details about lithium phosphate because I don't use a lot of them, but these are pretty cheap. These can be had, I think, for 10-15 bucks nowadays, and they're small and light, and they fit in the same pocket with your phone if you want. But after I started having more power issues, especially when I'm on the road on the bike, I got to carry a little bit more juice. I started moving into the lithium ion, and this is a battery pack I've had for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, at least 2 years. But I constructed this myself. I think back when I bought this device, battery packs this size with batteries included would cost you 40-50 bucks, I think. This thing cost me $5 or $6, and I put the batteries in myself. I have a pretty good stash of laptop batteries. 18650s is what goes in here. Have to put them together yourself, solder them yourself, put the thing all in the case and everything. But it saves a good amount of money, and I've got some soldering skills, and I like building stuff. So, but this has worked really well over the years. It charges. You recharge it with a, and this is the case for most of them, with a micro SD. You just plug this in or put it on a battery charger. And I've got charging ports on all my bikes, always have, because I've always liked to keep at least my phone and maybe a camera charged up while I'm riding. And cross-country stuff, you've got to keep your devices charged up. And if you're not staying in a hotel room every night, which I rarely do, it's kind of hard to keep things charged up. Especially when you're off the bike. If you're camping, you're really going to need something like this. But if you're camping in sunshine, this is the thing I've discovered recently. This thing is awesome. Same thing. It came without batteries, which meant I paid less than $5 for it. But it's got a couple of really interesting features. This is the one I like the best. It's a little solar panel, and this thing's fully charged, but anytime you put it out in the sun, it'll recharge itself. And it's got a couple of ports, unlike this one has 4 ports. But you can even daisy chain these things, and I have before. I have a lot of devices that I have to keep charged. Primarily is always my phone, but if I'm out in the woods for a week, it makes it really difficult. If I'm not riding around every day, it makes it difficult. So I could put this out in a sunny area, plug the phone up to it, and within 2 or 3 hours I'm charged up, and I don't have to worry about this thing going dead. These, depending on how much you plug into these, I would say I've never really taken this down to 0 with my phone, but I would say probably, like I've got this plugged up now, I would say probably this might last you a week with the battery, the watt hours that are in this battery pack, probably pretty close to this. I think this has got a couple of cells less than this one, but this extends your range a whole lot. And the only thing that I would tell you is probably need to keep these in a pack when you're not using it, because I'm worried about what this screen would do jostling around. You can see this thing's been through the war. But another cool thing about this is it also has a really powerful flashlight. You just turn this thing on, hold it, and it's really powerful. I can't really tell, it's so bright out here, but you know, camp flashlight, or if you're working on your bike on the side of the road, something like this, it's really good to have. You can keep this in your tank bag, and I typically do with a couple of 3 or 4 charging cables. I really like these USB, these braided cables. They're expensive by themselves, but I typically buy them in a pack of 3 or more different sizes. I've got one that's probably that long. I like these little short guys too, because you can put everything. You don't have to worry about your cords getting tangled up. That's pretty much what I recommend. I'll put some links to my gadgets below, and maybe some links to some other gadgets that you might need to consider too.